How cold the perfume of your dark soul right now. This is Richard Greaser, and you're listening to the Paznia Radio Network.
Keeps you staying? Why do you allow your heart to keep decaying? You don't have to let yourself get so low. It's time to take back your power. No more complaining and being sour. If you don't fight now, you'll be devoured. You don't have to live so low. You gotta be grooving, 'cause we're not planning on losing. What do you get from refusing? Get your body moving. I know it may seem hard, but all you gotta do is move with the rhythm of your heart. A little boogie is the start. Come on, get your body moving, act like you wanna win. It's time to awaken that fire within. You may feel tired from taking it on the chin, but it's time to stop letting them under your skin. If you're fighting fire, then move like water. They come to rob but can't steal what you have to offer. Don't be the one who constructs your own jail. Whoever has the best time will prevail. You gotta be grooving, 'cause we're not planning on losing. What do you get from refusing? Get your body moving. I know it may seem hard, but all you gotta do is move with the rhythm of your heart. A little boogie is the start. I'll lead, be free, let them see. Stand tall, risk it all, lower walls. No fear, shift gears. Come on, dear, it's not that hard to be who you are. You gotta be grooving, 'cause we're not planning on losing. What do you get from refusing? Get your body moving. I know it may seem hard, but all you gotta do is move with the rhythm of your heart. A little boogie is the start.
Howdy, folks, and welcome back to another Music Monday. This is Richard Greaser on the Paznia Radio Network. And, folks, got another show in store for you today. I've been continuing to write more music, and I've been really focused on this music festival that I am going to be performing at called Revolution Rocks, which is going to be in Belgrade, Serbia on, I believe, the 19th and the 20th of June. So we are approaching 1 month away. And I'm excited. It's going to be good. Stardust is going to be headlining. And yeah, I think it'll be cool. But it looks like we're live on Zapstream right now. It looks like we're live on Noster using Primal, and it looks like I don't know. I think we're live on YouTube and Twitter as well as I think the Paznia and Rumble and maybe Odyssey. But let me know if you want to chat. Let me know. Just shoot me a message on Noster. Doesn't look like the stream's working. Who knows? But anyways, I was kind of thinking about what I was going to talk about tonight. And I usually just kind of ramble and play music. Have a good time. But I was kind of thinking about the show that we just published this morning on the Beagle Weekly, and Ron and I spent a lot of time discussing sex symbols and boobs, which are I think are great topics. Like boobs is a topic that we like to talk about a lot on the Beagle Weekly. I don't think we overdo it, but it's a topic that comes up because we're both boob appreciators, and it's important. It is important to be a good boob appreciator because boobs are awesome. But yeah, I've been thinking, since we recorded the episode, it was just kind of like off the cuff talking about sex symbols, and I've been thinking a little bit more about what sex symbols mean, and music is very in line with sex symbols, and we have come to know sex symbols as being very like sexualized in nature, and I think part of the reason why is because the people that tend to be the most influenced by individuals in that role in society tend to be younger. They tend to be horny kids, and what the symbol represents to them is kind of like a reference point of how to view their sexuality. So, I mean, like a sex symbol is somebody that is considered physically attractive by the larger culture. They have a sense of charisma, confidence, glamour, style, and people express that they are desirable and oftentimes fantasize about them. So, I mean, you think about different figures in history. So, I mean, today it's like Taylor Swift, Ariana Grande, Lady Gaga was one for a while. There's like the pop musician, that has been a sex symbol for a long time, and I think it's been like that, since Britney Spears. Like Britney Spears really, took that to another level. Or get, even Madonna before her. Uh, but Britney Spears is hotter than Madonna. It's just that the Gen Xers had bad sex symbols, but like like the most popular like original sex symbol that a lot of people think about is Marilyn Monroe. Uh, but it's not just women, horny boys, watching Shakira videos and getting boners when they're in high school. It's women too. I mean, you think about like the Beatles and these different figures through history that they just these hordes of women would just be screaming, and it was like Jonas Brothers, Justin Bieber, figures like that. I've always thought it was really, really strange the way that people look at these figures. I've just never really gotten it. Like I can get down with some Shakira or Britney Spears or whatever, but it's just like a lot of people become obsessed with these figures in one way or another. Like people start changing their haircuts as a result of them is like that, where did the broccoli haircut come from? Like a lot of individuals that were playing sports ball or were YouTube streamers like Logan Paul popularized the broccoli haircuts. In many ways, they became sex symbols. And I just think it's an interesting phenomenon to watch and to understand because it shows how the general populace and culture is influenced. And a lot of people with minority opinions, and if you're a believer of freedom, you have a minority opinion, uh there might be a benefit to try to understand how culture is influenced so that it could be influenced, and understanding the role of sex symbols. And we were talking about the importance of sex symbols on the podcast in regards to Bitcoin. And there are actually, if you look carefully, there is a good long list of Bitcoin sex symbols that have existed. And I mean, like a Michael Saylor, you got a bunch of like married, middle aged male plebs that just get all horny for him. They repeat his words that he says over and over again. Instead of like getting a Michael Saylor haircut or like wearing a suit or wearing super gay shoes, they just repeat his one liners, talk about digital energy or, there is no second best or, now digital credit. Jason Lowry, they just repeat software over and over again. Don't really know what it means. Nayib Bukele. Uh, and then on the flip side, there's other types of individuals, but like, in the world of freedom, it's why I've always been a big fan of Carrie Wedler. Because she is hot. She's out there posting these TikToks about how the state sucks and, whatever. And it's cool. But, essentially, what the sex symbol phenomenon reveals ultimately at its core is the cultural importance of having good examples. In that people tend to be attracted to individuals with confidence and who are attractive. And so if you are trying to be persuasive, there's a huge benefit of being confident, glamorous, having charisma, being physically attractive. Being a sloppy pleb is not all too convincing. And, one of the reasons why many people are attracted to these types of figures is they want to feel that way and they don't know how to. And so what many people do in modern society, and I think this is more of a modern phenomenon, not just because of things like film and the internet and radio and stuff like that. Like I think it's a modern phenomenon largely because society has become very civilized and luxurious. And in the past, people were so hyper focused on things like survival that they didn't have a whole lot of time to think about being hot, in the sense of like, for men, like being hot was like being brave and being strong and like going and killing like the opposite team's guy or protecting your culture from the opposite people. Like the world used to be, and it still is, but like so much less so. It used to be such a brutal and awful place. Like I was reading about Native Americans and the brutality that many of these tribes participated in. And it was very common practice to mutilate bodies after they killed them in order to try and prevent them from enjoying the afterlife as much. And a lot of individuals that, various tribes, when they attacked, they would fight to the last person because if they survived, the end would be horrible. And a lot of them participated in cannibalism. I mean, you go and you read the Bible and you hear the stories of the brutality in the Old Testament. I mean, just even in the New Testament, like the crucifixion, it's it it's very unheard of compared to the way things are today. Uh, and so, I mean, you just like when you're like trying to protect your tribe from like ultimate destruction or, going into slavery or being tortured to death, you're not thinking about, the local Justin Bieber or the local Britney Spears. Like there just isn't, the same structure culturally. And I think as humans have gotten away from such a strong fight for survival and have experienced so much luxury, these phenomenons happen, and they're rather strange. And I guess humans have been engaging in really strange things, probably since the very beginning. But they're strange in the larger context because they're somewhat novel phenomenons, and they just lead people in directions that aren't always the most productive for them in one way or another. And but yeah, I mean, it's just what I'm essentially saying is, if you're pro freedom, you should be pro hot people. And this, the Bitcoin ecosystem and the people engaging in the social ecosystem around it tend to be pretty hostile towards hot people. And they call it thirsty. They call it um, like people are engaging in nepotism. They're just getting promoted or opportunities because they're hot. Like of course they are. Like being hot is incredibly valued. Is incredibly. I mean, you're fucking fat pleb with your belly hanging out and pizza stains on your t-shirt, and you think that your opinion is more valuable than a hot person in being persuasive to a larger population around you? Like, you kidding me? And what you do is but I mean, anyways, so when you understand these themes, I think you can employ them in one way or another. And this is why the Beagle's been a big fan of hot women or just hot people in general. And we've been going on this for a while, like explaining people are hot, and you think of people like Paris Hilton or the Kardashians, and the Kardashians, some of them are impressive people, but they're kind of like a mess. Like these individuals that are paraded in society as examples to young people, and they don't have like a ton of like virtue, so to say. They're just the examples that young people are getting are hot messes. Uh, and I think to subvert that, there has to be an argument that there's a better or different way, that you don't have to be a hot mess. And so when you find hot people that aren't hot messes, I think it's important to take notice and at least be somewhat supportive of them. They might not be perfect, they might not get everything right, you might not agree with everything they say, but yeah, I mean, Carrie Wedler's hot and she's doing a lot to promote freedom. And I'm going to go back to music break. I don't know. I'm getting off the rails a little bit and rambling on this one. I'll check the chat and see if they're working. I don't know. It doesn't look like Zap Stream's doing it too well tonight. But folks, chat me up. on whatever platform you're on. I'll search for it and be back here in a few minutes.
Just us, here and now in the present, building trust. My hands around your waist, looking into your eyes. 'Cause tonight we're gonna make all time high. Tonight we're gonna make an all-time high. When I'm with you, I feel like I can fly. Tonight we're gonna make it all-time high. When I'm with you, I feel like I can fly. Tonight we're gonna make an all-time high. When I'm with you, I feel like I can fly. Tonight we're gonna make it all-time high. When I'm with you, I feel like I can fly. Firecracker, I can't slow down. Vibing, vibing, driving, I own this town. Burn, burn, it's getting hot, hear a crackling sound. Burn, burn, it's getting hot, hear a crackling sound. Firecracker, you know you can't slow road. Get out of my lane, you're about to feel some pain. Got my Daisy Dukes on, cowboy boots, hot blonde. Look at my phone, you cash with the bone, but we gotta postpone. Quote right now, I'm in the zone. You can't hold me back, cause I'm on the attack. I got my foot on the gas, cause I'm tired of the trash. The cash on my purse, cause I'm about to send it to the nurse. They call me crazy, cause I'm always going crazy. They say women should be seen, not heard, but I find that absurd, cause I can't shut my mouth, consider the pot stirred. Talking big online, but IRL, you're in airplane mode. You judging me, but your boyfriend is a chode. Firecracker, I can't slow down. Vibing, driving, driving, I own this town. Burn, burn, it's getting hot, hear a crackling sound. Burn, burn, it's getting hot, hear a crackling sound. Firecracker, you know you can't slow me down. Vibing, driving, driving, I own this town. Burn, burn, it's getting hot, hear a crackling sound. Burn, burn, it's getting hot, hear a crackling sound. Vibing, driving, driving, I own this town. Getting turned and about to act up. You gotta be hot if you're gonna disrupt. Wildin' out, but being mostly peaceful. Shit, I just crashed my car like I'm whistling diesel. It ain't about the Benjis, it's all about the bitcoins. We charge like Haley Welch, shit coin and with mean coins. Therapist told me to touch grass. I said no, I monetize the weather. I know it's unfair, but I can't help that I'm just better. About to tell Morgan Wallen he's a bitch. Watch his face as I make him glitch. NPC scared of me because I'm the main character. Operating on branded vibes, not even competitors. First turning mentality while they doing psych with behavior. I'm leading the movement, but don't call me the savior. I turn chaos into content and now madness has a voice. You should surrender now, cause that's your only choice. Firecracker, I can't slow down. Vibing, driving, driving, I own this town. Burn, burn, it's getting hot, hear a crackling sound. Burn, burn, it's getting hot, hear a crackling sound. Firecracker, you know you can't slow me down. Vibing, driving, driving, I own this town. Burn, burn, it's getting hot, hear a crackling sound. Burn, burn, it's getting hot, hear a crackling sound. Vibing, driving, driving, I own this town.
No one has ever lost who chose to be more than a bum. Learning to use your brains instead of suckling off that thumb. To build a better world, you have to use your head. Don't you want to leave a legacy after you are dead? Why rest when the world is yours to take? You look around and everything's all gay and fake. Go buy a pack of 9KYC Marlboro Reds. Use Monero cause you're being monitored by feds. How long do you think you can go holding yourself back? Soon you will be old and the world will begin to fade to black. Don't wait, because your time is too damn short. You're here and it's too late to abort. The revolution will likely not have good UX, but that's not an excuse to stop you from success. Working tirelessly without immediate rewards, stumbling forward, goals to work towards. Don't get stuck reminiscing on how the past should have been. Let go and take the plunge so your life can really begin. Time's ticking and you still have things left unsaid. No time to be consumed by fear or crippled by dread. Clock is ticking, so you better get a move on.
Alrighty, I'm back. Yeah, the revolution won't have good EX. I was having a discussion with Ron Palmer on the nature of subversiveness, and when we define subversiveness, we were talking about subverting a lot of the mainstream cultural power structures. Typically individuals that are in the Bitcoin content ecosystem, or with the overlap with the Paznia Radio Network and the Volume Podcast. Tend to be rejecting the mainstream in one way or another for one reason or another, and they find it to be problematic for them and their values and their goals. It's what's happening in the mainstream is actually contrary, to what they're trying to accomplish oftentimes, and uh, yeah, I don't know. It's just it's interesting, and so we were discussing the nature of subversiveness, and what it actually means to be subversive, and there are many things that present or claim to be subversive to these mainstream power structures, but really are promoting them in one way or another. And I would argue, for example, probably the most guilty party of this is the Libertarian Party, or just political parties in general, because it's funneling people back into these power structures and getting them to agree that the rules of the game should be played a certain way. And it's voting and politics is one of the most unproductive activities, because just engaging in the conversation in the way that it's structured, it presents as if the conversation is a legitimate conversation that people should pay attention to in one way or another. And I don't think there's ever been a time in American history where people feel like they have less power as a voter, because the general populace is pretty disenchanted with the happenings of what's going on in mainstream politics, and they realize that there's nothing that they can do about it. There's nothing that they can do to stop the wars. There's nothing that they can do to stop the money printing, in the sense of if they're going to vote on it. And like, those things are becoming incredibly destructive for them, and what their goals and aspirations are, because like the average populace just wants to well, there's a difference between what they think they want, and I think what they actually long for, and really want. And this is where examples could be presented to them of why it's good to be a courageous person, why it's good to be a moral person, why it's good to be an attractive person. But I think in the discussion that we had on subversiveness, one of the things it came down to is like to really like change a culture, change a system, or change a society. You got to do things that are pretty uncomfortable, because whatever the incumbent populace is going along with, they're going to want to protect it, because it's what they understand to be good or normal, or whatever it is. And when individuals come along and they challenge it, it brings change, and oftentimes people are resistant to change, not just because they suck or whatever. It's just like, if you like something and you feel safe, then you don't want it to change. uh and to convince somebody to want to change, like, you have to be pretty persuasive in one way or another. And like, one of the, I guess I'm like rambling in circles and going over and over this, but to convince people of change, you have to have compelling message. You know, you have to be attractive. You have to have what the people want at the end of the day, or present as having it. And you know, there's this like, you know, focus on, like, scammers understand this. They understand how these mechanisms work because they, you know, their entire uh, focus and philosophy on everything is, you know, how to extract something or other, you know, from people, from ignorant people. And the individuals that want to try and I don't know, like, present an idea of like morals or values, they're just disadvantaged because oftentimes they're busy doing things, you know, they're busy living it out. But it's kind of a conundrum of what to know what to do in these situations. You know, if you're looking at and I don't really think I have like a good answer on it, on, you know, what I think people should do, or like how do you bring convince the populace that freedom's important, that liberty is important, that, you know, personal responsibility is important in a way that will create any sort of you know, massive change, which is kind of why I've res- I've come to the, you know, conclusion that like the thing that I care about the most is trying to experience those things for myself instead of trying to get, you know, the whole world or the larger populace to be convinced of it. And that it might not always be, you know, the most productive thing to try and convince people, because it like it's not, it might not be the best use of resources in the sense of like, you know, a promotional standpoint of like, okay, I'm going to be a Jehovah's Witness out there, you know, standing on the street, like handing out Murray Rothbard pamphlets. I don't know if that's going to, you know, bring any sort of realistic, tangible, productive change to the world versus, you know, doing things that are ultimately productive. And I think music is like one of those big attractors, or has the potential to be one of those big attractors, which is why, I mean, I just really enjoy the process. You know, ultimately at the end of the day, because like I can take the ideas and the things that I see and the way I see the world and communicate them in a way that I like to listen to. Um, because like the difference between music and a podcast is music is meant to be listened to regularly and over and over again. And you know, it's hard to convince somebody to listen to a conversation over and over again. But in many ways, music is a conversation. Um, but on that topic, Rod Palmer released today his new Paper Bitcoin album, so that's pretty cool. You can check that out on Wave Lake. I believe it's called. I can't remember if the album's called this or the song's called this, but I think it's called Requiem for a Paper Dream. And he wrote it as a story to be listened to, you know, throughout the full extent of an album. I mean, you hear these people, these boomers all the time are like, remember when I used to listen to albums? People used to listen to whole albums. Um, which, you know, I think is also, you know, it's pretty cool the way that you can tell a story throughout an album. I've always enjoyed that, but I just think it's funny how they tend to say that in the modern day where everything's about like a hip hop radio single. The story has grown a lot smaller and briefer. You know, the mediums of how people explain the stories. But what's kind of resulted in the pop singles and the way the story is told has changed. And what has happened is people are taking they're essentially creating their own albums across different artists via playlists, which I think is also kind of cool. It's like one of the things I think a lot of boomers miss out on, or just people that are resisting change or nostalgic about the way things used to be, and they kind of wish it was like that more. Is they oftentimes fail to see the cool things that are happening today, which is that um, I mean, it's fun to create a playlist and to share a playlist and to have a theme around the playlist and to be uh, really cognizant about that. And I think with entering into DJing, I think what I'm trying to do is relatively novel in the way that the music's being presented or produced or created in the story that is being told. And I think it's going to be a cool process of doing. I mean, even these shows are somewhat novel to some extent. The way that we've been podcasting on the Bugle Weekly is different, and there are people that are very against the way that we're producing music, and they might not like it, but I think there's still an aspect of creativity. It's kind of like the more I've learned about DJing and been around DJs, and just you learned about the process, like there's a lot more to it than just click and play. Or a really good DJ, they know how to, which I don't claim to be at all. Um, I don't know what to expect. If you go to Revolution Rocks, I mean, there's going to be some pretty top tier acts there, to be excited about. But I wouldn't. I don't know. I don't know what to expect from me, but it'll be a fun experiment, at least for me. And I do think it'll be kind of unique and novel. I have heard of DJs, using tracks that are produced the way that I'm producing them, but I don't know about doing like mostly a whole show with it. But a lot of DJs, like the best DJs in the world, like they're very like multidisciplined individuals that create their own music, and they tell their own stories, and people fall in love with their stories, and just like the mediums of the way that music is produced and created is constantly changing in one way or another. The introduction of autotune, but what I think is important in it is one, there's like the scientific mathematical side of music that makes something sound like music, that's important to have in the track. But I think it's also the story of what's being communicated, not only through the sounds, but through the lyrics. And it's been, I've always been a lyric person, and the more I've talked to people about music, the more I've realized how many people aren't lyric people. They're just kind of like vibe people based on the instrumental. And like I do like instrumental. I do like music without lyrics from time to time. But I think it's just, I've always been a writer. I've always been interested in communicating with words primarily, and so I see music that way as a storytelling technique, and those are typically musicians that I've been attracted to, as ones that are storytellers. throughout the years, and I like to get into the, so I've always been a huge Bob Dylan fan and a Johnny Cash fan and Towns Van Zandt and Marty Robbins and uh, good storytellers. Uh, but yeah, anyways, I'm looking forward to Revolution Rocks. I think it'll be a lot of fun time, or it'll be a fun time. If you are in Europe, there's going to be a lot of people traveling through Europe for a lot of different conferences this summer. There's going to be, Bitcoin Prague. There's going to be Bitcoin Film Fest, which I think Bitcoin Film Fest is a really cool thing. I'm excited for it. It's cool that I might try and get something shown there, but I don't know. I've been invited there a few times, but I have been playing around with video quite a bit over the last year, and I would like to submit something, but I'm not sure entirely how to do that. I'd reach out to them, but we will see. But yeah, I think I'm running out of steam for this ramble. So back to the music, folks, and I'll be with you in a few minutes.
Getting pushed to the edge, I know you feel despair. But if you want to change the world, you'll have to choose to dare. Go to places that aren't safe and face the darkness that's within. Learn what it means to become comfortable in your skin. Everything may be falling apart, but for you this is a fresh start. Pick up the pieces to build something new. Learn what you have the capacity to do. I know times are tough, but don't give in. It's not over until you win. It's your time, so fight like hell. Keep moving forward, give them a story to tell. Your body needs to move, so dance. Your body needs to feel, so dance. Your heart needs to open, so dance. Move your body. When you were young, you had dreams. Let your heart remember what they mean. A longing to do something brave, to be someone more than a slave. Now you're standing at the edge, wanting to leap off the ledge, doubting there will be better days, asking if God hears you when you pray. Some days it just feels so cold. Everything is so out of control, but you don't know what lies ahead. Cling to hope instead of dread. I know times are tough, but don't give in. It's not over until you win. It's your time, so fight like hell. Keep moving forward, give them a story to tell. Your body needs to move, so dance. Your body needs to feel, so dance. Your heart needs to open, so dance. Move your body. I know times thought I was alone, that I would have to run away. Then I found you in the dark. Now you're here, I'm going to stay. I learned to hide behind a mask. That way I could never be betrayed. When I discovered that trust could be earned, the armor just melted away. You can see the world just like me. Hey, hey, now you're here, I'm gonna stay. Now I know I can stay. That I would have to run away. Then I found you in the dark. Now you're here, I'm gonna stay. Here I'm going to stay.
So it seems like I've created a little bit of a debate on Twitter right now about who Bitcoin's first sex symbol is. We got people saying that it was Hal Finney. Uh, I asked if Andreas Antonopoulos was Bitcoin's first sex symbol, and that seems to have perturbed a variety of people. I don't think it was Hal Finney. Hal Finney, is considered a sex symbol in Bitcoin today. People are always talking about how his legs are better than Max Kaiser, whatever. I don't even know where people used to like to glaze Kaiser a lot. It seems like they've kind of lost interest in him. He's just, a grouchy old man that's retired to El Salvador. Uh, I mean, maybe that's what we could do with all these Gen Xers that, are real grumpy and aren't presenting a whole lot of value to society. We can just, instead of giving them social security checks to go gamble in Las Vegas, maybe we should send them down to El Salvador, go hang out with Pleb Cruz and Max Kaiser. But somebody said it was Tatum Turnip. Tatum Turnip is definitely modern day sex symbol, no doubt about that. He's kind of like a hipster sex symbol. Like he's very what's the word? Unusual in the sense of how he has become a sex symbol. Like he doesn't like tip. He is over 6 foot and he is forklift certified, and many women find him very attractive. But he's not like like a Tom Cruise type figure, if that makes sense. He doesn't just like exude tremendous amounts of confidence, but in the world of like autistic individuals that aren't very socially adept, like maybe he does exude a bunch of confidence to them. Because he is going and landing big podcasts. He's seen talking with hot women, like he's going to whale night wearing a suit at the conference. So while he does present as being, awkward or tries to present it, I think it's more of like a branding decision on his side to be more relatable to those that are awkward. And so therefore, he's become a sex symbol, in that regard, even though, he's not like the ones that we are accustomed to thinking of or looking at historically. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the world's pretty interesting. I've seen, some discussion for the last while, about the Bitcoin price, and there's we could see a massive shift, in the philosophy around Bitcoin and the Bitcoin ecosystem and community, because the price is not behaving like it has historically, and nobody knows like how long that will be. All the discussion, the bearish sentiment could be out the window in the coming months, or maybe it's not. Maybe it's one of those things that doesn't perform well, and the Bitcoin people's gambit to suck up to the state, maybe it didn't play off like they hoped it would. But who knows? Who knows? But you could see a massive shift in culture, and there's been many people that have predicted the fall of Bitcoin culture in general, and it kind of makes sense. It's a short lived thing. I mean, it's been a very like interesting phenomenon to have been a part of. It's been interesting to see people talk about this technology over and over and over again, uh, because in many ways it's been a rallying cry. For like a lot of principles that people care about. Sovereignty. The ability to engage in commerce in a free market way. Things like the Silk Road early on really cemented, the image. WikiLeaks, uh, practicing some non-compliant journalism. Uh, just the messaging that Satoshi Nakamoto had. The kind of building on top of the cypherpunk movement. It really has been the the bridge in a lot of ways of libertarianish free market philosophy into the digital age. And I mean, it's just been a wild phenomenon, to watch this. Like a lot of people have conspiracy theories about it, because I think a lot of people have this feeling of like, it's too good to be true. When they look at stuff like this, they look at the story of what's going on, and they may end up right in the long run, depending on how it all plays out. Maybe it was all too good to be true, but all of that kind of is determined by individuals today. Because like one of the things that oftentimes isn't messaged on a lot of Bitcoin podcasts or in Bitcoin circles in general is the responsibility of individuals to take action, and there's a lot of messaging around how you change the world by doing nothing. Like that's an attractive message that a lot of people want to hear. Is this goes back to the idea of what's actually like effective and what's actually subversive. Uh, but like when you have a larger context of history, when you have a larger understanding of the way the world works, and it's just like how like real sick and depraved people can be, and other, if you've like experienced it or seen it firsthand and been up close to it, it's going to be a lot more real for you than a lot of individuals that have lived fairly soft, easy lives. And I think a lot of people that come to the conclusion that just kind of following along with the whims of society like is not a good allocation of like their time or energy, and it just doesn't work for them. It's typically because there was a catalyst in their life. Something happened that showed them that it just didn't work. I think there's some people that they just have like a feeling in their gut. It doesn't work for them. But like a lot of times, individuals like try to follow along and they get penalized, even though that they're following the rules. Like it is just like the system didn't work for them. And I don't think that's going away. But yeah, I mean, it's just it's going to be interesting to see what the future looks like. Like there's this I think there's kind of like these apocalyptic feelings that people have. A lot of people feel like we're in the end times. I mean, it doesn't help that the pedophilic ruling class seems to be like trying to conjure Jesus back, and doing a bunch of messaging about that. Like that doesn't put your worries at ease. But at the same time, there have been a lot of apocalyptic points in human history, and where it seems like the end times, like individuals that lived through World War II or World War One, like those are very apocalyptic times in human history. And I in the way that I see things kind of unraveling or playing out, I'm hoping it's going to be a lot less traumatic than it was last time things unraveled and played out globally. Because like around World War II, just like the scale of destruction and killing was just unfathomable. And it was like all the pent up ferocity and savagery, that humans had been avoiding partaking in a lot of ways. It just it came out, like with what the Soviets did to Europe, um and a whole lot of other things. And I feel optimistic in that regard, looking forward to the future, that I just don't think things will get to that point. But then again, I don't know. Maybe it will. But it kind of puts into perspective, the possibilities of how bad things can get, and why certain ideas are really dangerous and certain ideas are a lot more productive, and why normalizing evil is a very, very treacherous and dangerous thing to do. And it is why I am the grumpy cigarette capitalist that I am. Is to me, it just is too much to ask for me to want to like promote or be a part of or tolerate the system in any way, because I know what it represents and how bad it can get. But anyways, I don't know. I'm just rambling tonight about whatever. It seems like the chat's broken. Zapstream doesn't seem to be working, so I don't have any feedback to work off of. But I guess I'll talk about the Heroes album after this. We're on the backstretch of the show, folks. This is Villains followed up by Heroes.
They are the villains that rule the world, but they are losing their control. You have to fight in order to survive. You have to fight to feel alive. There's a coldness in their eyes. They enjoy their victims' cries. Darkness fills their souls. They dominate to control. They are the villains who rule the world, slaughtering the ones in their way, threatened by those who disobey. They'll burn it to the ground in order to wear a crown. They are the villains who rule the world.
expensive island real estate, where they determine the world's fate. Axel dog, it hurts to know, hiding in the shadow. They are the villains who rule the world. You are caught in their game. They try to extinguish your flame. Trapped in a nightmare you can't escape. I know that your heart aches. That rule the world, but they are losing their control. You have to fight in order to survive. You have to fight to feel alive.
The call to be something more, and try to ignore it, but the sound was a roar. To answer and facing all of your fears, to leave what was safe, embark on the frontier. You try to resist, but there was no going back. Your very existence had come under attack. Self-respect required you to grow, to leave everything behind that you had known. The journey will be long, but you will find you are strong. Dig deep inside, take what's coming in stride. The world needs heroes to do what must be done. So answer the call, because the brave don't run. Stand your ground, fight for what's true. Choose what's hard in pursuit of virtue. It may seem like all hope is gone, but you're still here, so the fight isn't done. So the fight isn't done. You yourself. Pride will beat in your chest. The journey will be long, but you will find you are strong. Dig deep inside. The strong don't run or hide. The world needs heroes to do what must be done. So answer the call, because the brave don't run. Stand your ground, fight for what's true. Choose what's hard in pursuit of virtue. It may seem like all hope is gone, but you're still here, so the fight isn't done. So the fight isn't done. I can remember a place where I felt like I was safe. It calls me when I'm in the abyss, but I can't remember where it is. There was a feeling of peace, a time when I was complete, wanting to go back to those days. Why can't I just find my way? I'm just trying to find my way back. I'm just trying to find my way back. I'm just trying to find my way back home. I'm just trying to find my way back. I'm just trying to find my way back. I'm just trying to find my way back home. Toiling each day to survive, just wanting to feel alive. Seeing glimpses time to time is what pushes me to climb. Running to what I once knew, hoping to rediscover my way through. Maybe I will find you when I get there. Can't wait to breathe that clean air. I'm just trying to find my way back. I'm just trying to find my way back. I'm just trying to find my way back home. I'm just trying to find my way back. I'm just trying to find my way back. I'm just trying to find my way back home. I'm getting tired of being lost, unsure if I can bear the cost. But I've gotta find a way, hoping one day I'll feel okay. Doubting if I'm getting closer, stuck on a roller coaster. But I still have my memories of that feeling of being free. I'm just trying to find my way back. I'm just trying to find my way back. I'm just trying to find my way back, oh. I'm just trying to find my way back. I'm just trying to find my way back. I'm just trying to find my way back. I try to change, but it is hard. Afraid of what lies beneath those scars. Falling apart when I feel low. Putting the pieces together as I go. This is not where I belong. Everything just feels wrong. Wanting to feel the warm embrace of being in that place. I'm just trying to find my way back. I'm just trying to find my way back. I'm just trying to find my way back, back home. I'm just trying to find my way back. I'm just trying to find my way back. I'm just trying to find my way back home. I can remember a place where I felt like I was safe. It calls me when I'm in the abyss, but I can't remember where it is. There was a feeling of peace, a time when I was complete, wanting to go back to those days. One day I will find my way.
Um, I don't know. I guess I just don't have a lot to say tonight, folks. I'm feeling tired. I said I was going to talk about the Heroes album. That's I had this idea. I wanted to like study and talk about the hero's journey, and so I had this idea of creating like an EDM album, talking about different themes throughout it. And I was thinking that I needed more songs, and I kind of came to the realization today that I think I'm pretty much done with it. And I've been making different songs and remixes of different songs for the event in Belgrade, and we'll continue on that. But I think this has turned into kind of a interesting and cool album talking about this hero's journey. I guess there's a couple themes that I could add to it if I think about it a bit. But yeah, I did. I'm going to spend some time, and I'm going to organize it in order. Like the hero's journey it's helpful from just crafting a compelling story in literature and in storytelling, but it's oftentimes presented to people as like a framework, for viewing their lives, because because your life's ultimately a story, right? And you create a compelling story of your life by taking risks and by um doing things that are difficult. Like that's the what is inspiring about a story about a hero is that they're individuals that accomplish things in the face of adversity, in the face of challenge. And I was talking with a friend. I got lunch with a friend this week, and one of the things that we were discussing storytelling. He's a writer, and he likes to. He's fun to talk to because he talks a lot about and is just very interested in film and cultural stuff in more of like a technical standpoint than just like a yeah, I enjoyed it because Michael Bay has cool special effects or whatever. And one of the things he said is like he wants to walk away from a movie feeling inspired. And and I agree with him because that's what I seek out in storytelling too. And when I find a story like that, I get excited, and I guess that's one of my goals of this album was to create this story throughout it that was different, interesting, and inspiring. And I think I've mostly accomplished that. And it's been a fun process. I mean, it's cool. Like I've learned a lot through it. I've learned about um, music production. I've learned about video production because I've done a lot of music videos for it, which you can, if you haven't seen them, I think they're pretty cool. But they're on the Beagle News YouTube channel. Uh, but I think one of the things like there's what a lot of people look for in a good story is they're looking for the ability to detach and escape in a lot of ways. And I think that's something that is taught to us is that to dissociate. I mean, it's a skill set that people have learned to survive, and I think dissociation is really important when you're like living in normal mainstream society where the way things are structured are generally unhelpful or unhealthy in one way or another. And it's structured around turning you into a vehicle for somebody else's goals and aspirations. Like you exist in this world to not really have dreams of your own, but to further somebody else's dreams. And that's much of you know what Bitcoin is in protest of, and is trying to change is your it is the it represents the belief that you are more than something than like a taxpayer, or your role in life is to get a mortgage so a banker can get wealthy. Like you have more value than that. And you have more to offer the world than just that. And that's like the cattle, or that's what gets so many people excited about the technology, and what has created this big movement at a time where there are things like the 2008 financial crisis, where the wool is pulled back, or the veneer is pulled back, and you can see behind the scenes of like, oh yeah, most of us are just living as slaves, essentially, to make the bankers rich, or make the politicians rich, or whatever it is. We're just stupid fucking plebs. um and Bitcoin has been presented as the escape from that. And I think a lot of people get excited about it because there's not really a simple or clear directive that is given to people, or like a path that's given people to escape from that. And so, like, having like something tangible in the form of like a technology that you can interact with is easier to comprehend. But the process is so much deeper than just like a simple action of changing what money you use. I think it's what many people quickly learn is that there's a lot to it. That regaining a semblance of the word sovereignty is used a lot. Regaining control over your mind, over yourself. It's a lot of work. And the individuals that do it, they have to go to some pretty difficult places. They have to go to some pretty dark places. And so that's what I was trying to communicate with this album. And I don't know, I guess I might be too early saying that it's completed. I'll have to think about it a little bit, but it feels pretty close to done at this point. I think like the one theme I didn't really talk about a whole lot on it that would be good is mentorship. And because I think that's a really important part of the hero's journey. And the podcasters in many ways can be or are mentors to people. And but yeah, we're gonna go for one more music break, and then we're gonna call it a night, folks. Got some Crayley songs to wrap this one up.
It's game over for these starter pack clones. Oh, shit. These mids of Wi-Fi about to be on. No shit. I'm about to rewrite all the rules to the game. Oh shit. They hoes are gonna remember my name. Go get them, Crowley. And it's all like, I'm tired of all these whiny bitches. I'm about to bust them up and give them stitches. I be on my grind because I am relentless. But the broccoli haircuts are listening to Nick Fuentes. The broccoli haircuts are listening to Nick Fuentes. NPCs on default settings acting all defenseless. They think Jake Paul is cool trying to copy his flow. But I'm about to bust them up and throw some bows. Driving around Nashville trying not to crash out. Basic bitches on Broadway can't stop wilding out. I'm on some hot girl shit while they are mids. Copy pasting personalities and never wanting kids. Looking like they came from the Pick-Me factory. Mass produced, where do they change the batteries? I'm on another level while they just are full of slop. Fuck they Lululemon yoga pants and following the fly. Brain rot, it's cool like we're living in idiocracy. Glued to their phones thinking this is a democracy. The algo owns their lives, background characters at best. Unable to make decisions for themselves like they possess. And it's all like, I'm tired of all these whiny bitches. I'm about to bust them up and give them stitches. I be on my grind because I am relentless. But the broccoli haircuts are listening to Nick Fuentes. The broccoli haircuts are listening to Nick Fuentes. But broccoli haircuts are listening to Nick Fuentes. The broccoli haircuts are listening listen to Nick Funes, so I'm about to get real and swing for the fences. They think they a base, walking around eyes glossed over. A bunch of pussies bitching out like it's cool to be mediocre. They think he's got riz cause he dissed Candace, so when she's as unhinged as the View can't handle her emotions. They are all fake and gay, yelling in the echo chambers, pretending like they are real, but a Brent-fed instigators. I'm driving high, all gas and no brakes. No, I will not listen to your brain dead takes. I'm all locked in. I'm a fucking heavy hit, about to dunk on you so hard you better reconsider. You can try to stop me, but I'm pretty and paid. Ice in my veins, a bitch you never fade. Cruising in my Wrangler with no ducks on the dash. I use Bitcoin, not a stupid Monopoly cash. And it's all like, I'm tired of all these whiny bitches. I'm about to bust them up and give them stitches. I'll be on my grind because I am relentless, but the broccoli haircuts are listening to Nick Fuentes. Oh, and to all you mass-produced, copy-paste basic bitches, you are about to be exposed because I'm here now. We don't need more followers in the fourth turning. I'm about to put you on blast. No cat, 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 no plat, no cat. I see you out there crashing out, bitch. You can stop anytime you like. Seeds full, can't escape. It's madness, wanna break. They don't care about your slop. Instigating, just can't stop. Spitting fire, crazy drip. Reporting news and being it. You crying because they forgot your name. You crying cause you got no game. You can join or you can crash out. Work harder if you wanna chase that cloud. Games change, you don't write the rules. Journalists making you look like stupid fools. Cry harder, maybe they'll hear. Whining won't make your dreams appear. Revolution is time to win. Evolution grow thicker skin. Relegated to being a joke. Decimated, filled with coke. Why don't you act like you actually want to win? Humility in your bio, but can't see you're a has-been. You can join or you can crash out. Try harder if you wanna chase that cloud. Games change, you don't write the rules. Journalists making you look like stupid fools. You're a critic, but you're in the past. Forgotten because all you view is trash. Crumbling when you get a little pushback. Exposed for trying to fight facts. Echo chamber full of plebs, glazing in mediocrity, following your steps. You're the tallest midget in the room, but your failure to grow will be a doom. You can join or you can crash out. Try harder if you wanna chase that cloud. Games change, you don't break the rules. Journalists making you look like stupid fools. Rest on your credentials at your own risk. Bitching about arbitrary data on your disc. You don't win by being a loser, bitch. I'm a fucking hot podcast producer. I see you out there and you got no clothes. Influencer is naked and everyone knows. Pleb slot pity party isn't fun. Hiding, looking for where you run. You can join or you can crash out. Try harder if you wanna chase that cloud. Games change, you don't break the rules. Journalists making you look like stupid fools. You can join in if you want, or sit on the sidelines and crash out. I don't give a shit what you do. I think you'll have more fun if you join in.
I can't hear myself. Crayley, turn it up a bit. Yeah. Hold up. Hold up for a minute, sir. Yeah. Hold up for a minute, sir. Let me grope your dick. You're free because of my threat to beat you with a stick. Aren't you glad that we're here to keep you safe? Wait just 1 second, don't use that brain. Sir, you must get back in line. No, you can't smoke cigarettes or have a spine. You were born to follow my master's rules. Didn't you listen to what they taught in school? Compliance defines my ass. I'm not listening to your fucking trash. Now you're just wasting my time and you're saying I'm the one committing a crime. You think you can burn it all to the ground, plundering and thinking I'll just bow down. Well, I'm here now to fix shit, and I'm not asking for a permit.
Look at me, what do you see? Living life in infamy, can't you see? Winning is my destiny.
The world is my ashtray.
The world is my ashtray.
The world is my ashtray.
The world is my ashtray. What is clear, you fail.
too many times to be stopped by your devious designs. Dropping credentials and dropping truth, eviscerating, slop, investigating like a sleuth. You can fight, but I got home field advantage, and my wife thinks I've got brain damage. Outlaw smoking, but the system robs you blind. Safety is more important than using your mind. Fool me once, you can't fool me again. At least Toby Keith said he liked freedom. They're dropping bombs, I'm dropping bars, acting like they're worshiping Mars. You can feel the shift in the wind, the tides are turning their control thin. The revolution is being podcasters, and it's clear they already lost it.
Look at me, what do you see? Living life in it for me, can't you see? Winning is my destiny.
The word is my ashtray.
The world is my ashtray.
The world is my ashtray.
The world is my ashtray. What is clear you fail to see is I won't ever lose my steam. You aren't going to crush my dreams.
The world is my ashtray.
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 I remember before, all you knew my name. Flying under the radar, watching you be lame. Hiding in the shadows, hearing you slide. Oh, thinking you were at the top. 40 hours per weekend, smoking cigs. Grinding harder while y'all feel slop the pigs. You didn't even know the game you were playing. Didn't understand the words you were saying. When I popped up on the scene, you tried to get me on your team, telling me how the news made you sad. Thinking I cared that you were mad. Resting on your credentials like it was a bench, while a fire burned that I couldn't quench. Now we're watching it all burn down, and you've been exposed as clowns.
Look at me, what do you see? Living life in it for me, can't you see? Winning is my destiny.
The world is my ashtray.
The world is my ashtray.
The world is my ashtray.
The world is my ashtray. What is clear you fail to see is I won't ever lose my steam. You aren't going to crush my dreams.
The world is my ashtray.
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 I love it. Every time I go for a break, there's just more people discussing was Andreas Antonopoulos, Bitcoin's original sex symbol. I mean, come on, folks. We all mostly would prefer Andreas over Sailor any day, especially now. But yeah, I don't know. So I've been having a lot of fun playing the guitar recently. I took a lesson from Bubba. You know, one of the things that we're discussing, like writing music, you really gotta any sort of writing. You know, people that I talk to that are creatives, you know, especially in the writing world, understand that like you need to experience life. Like you need muses. You need to feel emotion. And in order to do that, like to be active and think effective at it, like you have to be going out there and experiencing things. You have to have experiences to feel inspired. And so I've been doing a lot of writing and, you know, playing a lot of guitar, and, you know, I've been playing some music, and it's been a lot of fun. Like it's just been really, you know, it's been a lot of fun. And I'm just glad I did it, you know. It's all relatively new experience for me, and I don't really know where it's going to go, but it is it's just cool to be able to tell stories through songs and music. And you know, I've been enjoying writing. You know, when I feel inspired by somebody, I'll write a I'll write a song just for them. And that's been a cool process of doing that and playing songs for people. But like after I get writing a song and playing a song and feeling good about it, I will be gripped sometimes with like this feeling of anxiety of like I don't know how I'm going to feel inspired enough to do another one, and then the experience will happen, and then a new song will pop out. But it's not something like I feel like I can just like brute force or manufacture, at least not in a way that does it well. So I am pretty happy with the way that this album turned out. Like I had kind of like a broader general idea of how I wanted to do it, and it just kind of all has come together randomly over I forgot how long I've been working on it, but probably like maybe 6 months or longer. And so it's been culmination of a bunch of different experiences and conversations and interactions I've had with people over the last 6 months, a lot of different people. And it's been cool. But anyways, so this is the latest song. This I guess is a debut for this show, and I'll end the show with this one. The song is called Fire Burning. Guys, I hope you have a good night. Hope you're hanging in there. If you're having a tough time, don't sit on it alone. Reach out to somebody. Go reach out to the people in the group chat. Don't just like bitch and complain either. Try and be productive, but hang in there, folks. It's the year of the fire horse. It's crazy. Catch you in 2 weeks.
I say that man is entitled to his own happiness and that he must achieve it himself, but that he cannot demand that others give up their lives to make him happy. Nor should he wish to sacrifice himself for the happiness of others. I hold that man should have self-esteem.
contrast for the light. I like who I'm becoming, no longer afraid of night. The darkness is coming, it's contrast for the light. I like who I'm becoming, no longer afraid of night. I've journeyed far to get here. The road was not paved. I walk on the frontier, 'cause I will not be enslaved. I've journeyed far to get here. The road was not paved. I walk on the frontier, because it's what I crave. The sun may be setting, the cool breeze may come. There is no forgetting where I come from. The sun may be setting, the cool breeze may come. There is no forgetting where I come from. Where I come from.